and also to share this valuable information that we have to give you all. I just like to thank Ms. Helen from the NASW. I was literally in my office last week on Thursday putting together reentry packages, and I was like, wouldn't it be nice if somebody did a webinar with all these different services in New Jersey? And that dawned on myself, maybe I can assist in some way. I've been working in community corrections for quite some time, and for those of you who do not know, we are looking at approximately 2,088 people being released on or about November 4th next month, right after Election Day, and another 1,000 to be released before January 2021. So we wanted to put this together to share information, to share resources. Um, I've received some people, they wanted to know exactly why did I do this? And I was like, just because I care and we want to help. So thank you to all of our fabulous presenters who will be presenting briefly about their organization and giving their information about how to contact them afterwards. I know that we cannot cover everything. We cannot go into all the issues that people who are going to be released from prison or might have, or the issues that are going on with people who are currently incarcerated. This is a solution focused webinar to discuss services that we provide. And I know that there are so many more services out there than what we have right here in this particular panel. So please feel free to share that information with me, and I will also disseminate it as well. Moving right along, because we are short for time and we have well over 7 people who will be talking about their nonprofit organization. I'm going to start with the fabulous Priscilla Carmona. I've had the pleasure of working with her with the International Human Rights Arts Festival last year for We Are Still Human. And she is the co-owner of Second Chance Opportunity Reintegration Entity Systems, LLC. SCORES was created on the basis of second chances, providing each individual impacted by incarceration and addiction with services that include employment. Priscilla, we are ready for you and your presentation, and welcome.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. I am so grateful to be here. I'm going to share my screen and just provide a little bit more background information as to what we do here at SCORES. So SCORES Reentry really focuses on individuals impacted by incarceration, substance abuse issues, and poverty. We work with children and families. We work with individuals who have been recently arrested, as well as who have a history of incarceration. And we are very much grateful for the stakeholders who have worked with us throughout the last years to really provide linkages into the community. We are independently and privately supported. We have worked in all different counties, including Hudson County, Essex County, Union County, and we are available throughout the entire state. Most of our work involves direct client care as well as macro level advocacy through coordination with different stakeholders and politicians to advocate for different laws, including clean slate legislation, earn your way out legislation, and most recently advocating for housing opportunities for individuals who have criminal records. Some of our agency goals include linkages to appropriate services within the community. We have linkages that include employment, housing, apprenticeship work. We work with an expungement attorney who is very dedicated to helping our clients. And our major goal is to provide individuals with the best possible chance to reduce recidivism and limit the revolving door of poverty, which is often associated with different criminal behaviors, and also reduce the risk of relapse. Some of the concrete services that we provide here at SCORES is referral services, personal advocacy. We attend court for individuals. We advocate with different liaisons within the courthouse to make sure that the client's voice is fully heard and understood. Case management. We offer groups weekly as well as individual counseling, housing services, criminal justice system assistance, navigating different types of programs within the criminal justice world, employment and educational assistance. Again, we do have linkages to unions and apprenticeship jobs, Family counseling, our staff is bilingual, so we do take clients who have been impacted by immigration and who are also Spanish speaking. And we also very uniquely meet our clients within the community. So if clients are not able to get to our office, we will be more than happy to do home visits, visits at the correctional facility, visits at the rehabilitation center if the person's in rehab, and anywhere that's most convenient for our clients. We service youth, we service adults, we service families who are interested in family counseling. We also have staff who's licensed drug and alcohol counselors. We also have staff who's experienced working with individuals who have been impacted by sexual offense history. We've been getting a lot of clients who are in the elderly populations and have served long-term sentencing. We also work with probation, parole, and ICE detention to make more fluid discharge planning and a more liquidized reentry system. And we service clients throughout the entire state of New Jersey, so we're not limited to different counties. So, for example, I have clients who live in Atlantic County, and we definitely travel out there and to provide services. We run groups every Monday from 7:30 to 9 p.m. Our current group is overcoming trauma and preventing violence, but some of our additional groups include anger management, criminal addictive thinking, stop the chaos, socialization, drug and alcohol education, release and reintegration, and helping men recover. When an intake is received by our agency, we contact our clients within 24 hours. We conduct the paperwork and biopsychosocial assessments with our clients so that our clients are aware of what their reentry plan will look like, and they're very much involved in that process. We communicate weekly for individual counseling, group work, and case management. And we make sure that all avenues towards their goals are transparent and communication is maintained weekly. We service clients up to 1 year after discharge. Our team includes myself, Mr. Corella, who is a licensed social worker in LCADC, Levi, who is in the process of getting his license in clinical practice, and we are also supervised by an LCSW who helps us with all of our clinical work and clinical development. Our staffing includes collaboration with the Elizabeth Development Corporation that is really spearheading different advocacy programs for individuals within our populations. And we also work with different schools of social work, so to not only provide services to our clients, but also to teach new and upcoming social workers what reentry really means and how do we provide a fair chance into reentering into the community. All of our contact information is here at the end of the presentation. I believe the PowerPoint referral form as well as our current group flyers will be submitted via email. Feel free to contact me or any of the phone numbers identified, and our emails are also there, and feel free to check us out on our website. Thank you so much for having me. It's
No,
an absolute pleasure.
thank you, thank you. Priscilla, I have some follow-up question. But unmute your mic. I have a follow-up question. You're doing in-person work, and are you also doing work virtually?
Yes, absolutely. Some of our clients don't have access to full technology, so we do practice social distancing and follow CDC guidelines, but we do in-person work, and we do virtual work with whatever platform is most convenient for our clients. Our groups are virtual via Zoom right now.
Okay. And besides calling or emailing you, is there a intake of referral form that we need to have or that you need to share with us so that we can get it out to the people who need to have it?
Yes, absolutely. I can resend the referral form to you, and we can definitely disseminate into the email list.
So I'm uploading all of the materials from your talk right now to our website. So I'll be putting links to those in the chat so people can access them shortly.
All right, fantastic. Thank you, Priscilla
Thank
Kimona.
you so
Please
much,
do not
and thank
dis.
you.
Oh, I'm sorry for talking over you. I just want to make sure that you don't disappear, because if we have time at the end and if we have any questions in the chat, we would love for you to stay around. If you
Absolutely.
are just now joining us, my name is Dr. Helena D. Lewis. We are doing this webinar in conjunction with the National Association of Social Workers, the New Jersey chapter. I'm a little biased. I love New Jersey. If you do not know, I don't know how you cannot know this by now, but stuff happens. We are gearing up all of the reentry programs for the release of 2,088 people starting November 4th, 2020. And we're looking at another approximately 1,000 individuals being released by January. If you don't know, you can always Google the Senate bill that was signed by Governor Murphy. As we move forward, we just want to focus on what can we do to assist these individuals. I like to say returning citizens now. I think that's so 2020, are returning citizens back to society. How do we assist them with application, jobs, anything that we can do to help with the reduction of recidivism? And this is why we put this webinar together. If you're just joining us, we just heard from Ms. Priscilla Kimona from SCORES. Her information has been posted by Jeffrey, who is on his A game. Thank you. And we are now moving forward with Miss Jada Fillmore from, let me get her bio together, and I'm only reading just partial bios. You can go to the NASW website and see everyone's full extended bio. I cannot begin to talk about the accolades of the individuals that are on this webinar today. Jada Fillmore is the New Jersey Reentry Corporation, NJRC, facility director in Passaic County, located in Paterson, New Jersey. NJRC has 9 sites throughout the state of New Jersey, has assisted already over 6,000 court-involved returning citizens, providing vital services such as identification, legal services, job readiness, and employment, transportation, and direct link to addiction, mental, and medical health services, and other services. I do want to add, because I have referred people to Jada Fillmore in the Passaic County area. If you have a person who does not have access to a computer, they have a full computer site, and yes, they are utilizing social distancing. Jada, I hope I didn't overstep myself, but I just felt like saying that. Okay, let me fall back.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lewis. Thank you for inviting us. Thank you, and hello to everyone. This is a fantastic collaborative effort. I almost feel like the presentation is done, but I'm going to jump in very quickly. I also have my staff members, a few of them here, just to quickly, 2 minutes each, we'll just talk about what it is that they do. But just as a little base of history, this is former Governor McGreevy's program. We've been around for 8 or 9 years. We are out of the Paterson office, but we do have 8 reentry sites and 1 CRC site in Kearney. Let me just mention, our reentry sites are in Hackensack, Paterson, Newark, Jersey, Kearney, New Brunswick, Union, Neptune, and Toms River. I think I have it covered. And the goal, the mission of the reentry program is to help anybody who's been formally incarcerated find employment and to remove as many barriers there are to employment. Now, formally incarcerated means court involvement at any point in time in their life, even if it was 20 years ago and they were detained for a few hours. That is the only requirement that we have. We do a 1-week mandatory orientation throughout all of our sites in order to be enrolled and entitled to our services. And during that week, a number of things happen. In our particular site in Paterson, we have about 30 presenters who come every single week and volunteer for us. And it's all kinds of resources in the community, whether it's direct links to Medicaid, to SNAP, financial literacy, AAA, nutrition and health, a number of mentors, you name it. So they come every single week, whether they are in person or on Zoom. We do a hybrid of both in-person clients and on Zoom, as well as presenters. And we see anywhere from 10 to 20 new clients every single week. In Paterson, we've enrolled over 2,500 in the 5 years that we've been. Site-wide, we probably have seen maybe 9,000 or so clients at this point. And then when they come to the program, Not only do they get the information from the presenters, but they go through each of our staff members one-on-one, and we help them with employment. We help them with ID. We have a licensed social worker on board as well. So at this point, let me shift over to Elizabeth Gronowski. She's our intake coordinator / case manager, and she will briefly talk about our intake process, IDs. Then we'll jump to Dominic, who will go into legal. We'll jump to Xavier, who will talk about employment. And lastly, I'll just revert back to our licensed social worker. Thank you, Liz.
Thanks, Jada. Hi, everyone. My name is Liz, and I'm the intake coordinator and case manager at the Patterson site. My position is to maintain and develop relationships with probation, parole, ISP, drug court, halfway houses, and all referral sources. So any referrals that an organization may have, they would send to me through email, Google Voice, text, in person. We take referrals all ways, and those numbers can be found on njreentry.org. When you click on the sites, it has all the directors and their phone numbers and emails. And you can even submit a referral through the online portal, which would go to the prospective directors of the site. We also follow up with clients every 30 days about services like Medicaid enrollment, SNAP enrollment, employment status, the status of their IDs, license, mental health, addiction. So not only do we see them during the week, but we also follow up with them every 30 days, and they stay a client until we lose contact with them or they choose not to. So once they're in the system, they're in the system forever until they choose not to be. In terms of IDs, we pay for a non-driver ID, a driver's license, a duplicate ID as well, and the $100 restoration fee for the license. We help them obtain all of their 6 points like Social Security card, the Medicaid card, food stamp card, maybe get records of their high school diploma. So we just assist them with getting all their points for their ID. And Dominic's going to talk more about the legal services and license restoration and birth certificates that we obtain.
Good afternoon. My name is Dominic. I'm the legal services coordinator for New Jersey Reentry. So like Liz was saying, we help them obtain their identification, 6 points that are required by motor vehicle. This usually includes a birth certificate as the base document that we get. We pay for those as long as they're born in the country or Puerto Rico. Since July, we've obtained 193 birth certificates that we've paid for and obtained. We've restored 39 driver's licenses. So that's a $100 restoration fee. And those are all licenses that at one point were suspended, either due to non-payment of fines or they're sentenced to a suspension by a judge, or they did not pay their surcharges. Also, since July, we have vacated $22,500 in fines given by courts to our clients. This usually consists of me sending a letter asking for time served, displaying, what time they have served and how it relates to their charges that they have to pay the fines on. This is the highest number we've ever had in my year. I've been here for a year. But we have a very successful legal program at all 8 of our sites. And we help, as the previous presenter was saying, we help them navigate the criminal justice system. We help them communicate with courts. We help the courts understand where they're coming from, and we help the client understand where the courts are coming from, because courts still want to hold them accountable, but they like to see people changing for the better. And we do a very good job at displaying that and portraying them, as accomplishing all that they are. We for every legal situation that a client may have, if New Jersey Reentry can't fix the solution or offer a solution or fix the problem, then we have pro bono attorneys that we work with. We work with Volunteer Lawyers for Justice. We work with North Jersey Legal Services. So any avenue that they may have to go down, we walk them down it, because they never leave our site feeling lost. That's for sure. We're about results, and the results actually came in last week, which I'm very pleased with. So now I believe Xavier will be talking about the employment aspect of our program.
Excuse me,
everyone. I hope you all can.
Yes, ma'am.
Xavier, can you just hold on one second? Dominique, I'm gonna, is there any way you can talk maybe like 10 to 15 seconds? What does one do if they're getting released and they have back child support? How does that work?
So that's actually still a very big issue for our clients. We, as an organization, New Jersey Reentry is actually working on legislation to put a cap on the arrears that clients owe while they're incarcerated. Actively drafting legislation. Right now, the state offers no solution to that. So you can only modify the child support order. We don't directly deal with child support. We have outside organizations that we work with that do, but I do, like I said, I assist them in getting to wherever they need to be. So if that means I have to look into child support one day, then that's what I'll do.
All right. Not to cut you off, but
Sure.
thank you. I know I threw that out of you out of left field, but you know, I felt
That's
like
okay.
it needed to be addressed because we get that a lot. Xavier, I'm sorry for cutting you off. And I just like to say before he comes on, when it comes to employment, Xavier is somewhat of a stalker, like in a good way. Like he will call you. I found 5 different possible opportunities. Do you still have contact information with this person, that person? So I can attest to some of their services when it comes to assisting individuals find employment.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lewis, for the backhanded compliment. I appreciate it. I'm actually currently driving at the moment, so I'll be concise. But as an employment specialist, my job, we all know that perhaps the greatest disruptor of criminality is employment. So my job is to help clients not just find a job. To say a job is an amorphous term. We try to find them livable wage job opportunities or career opportunities. So when they first come into our program on Monday, the first order of business is helping them to craft a resume. So we try to make them a resume with some skills that might be transferable, maybe skills that they gleaned while they were incarcerated. We create the resume before we start disseminating it to employers. The next thing that we do, we meet with them to do an individual employment plan. So we create an action plan for each person about maybe a particular industry they might want to work for. Maybe it might be manufacturing, food service, hospitality is one of our biggest employers at the moment. We have symbiotic relationships with employers. One in particular is called Crystal Springs Resorts, and they've been hiring some of our clients and candidates for food service jobs and housekeeping. But throughout the course of the week, I do didactic groups, workshops with them on how to prepare for an interview. I teach them how to address perhaps the most daunting question they're going to be confronted with, which is their felony background on the interview. We teach them how to address that question succinctly. We help them prepare for interviews by doing mock interview simulations on site. We have clothing as well. I believe my director Jada touched this, but we provide them with bus tickets. So we want to try to remove as many excuses. So we provide them with tickets so they can.
Okay, we seem to be
We
having
provide
some.
them with bus tickets up until their first paycheck. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now, Xavier.
I'm sorry, I'm actually on the road. My apologies. But we provide them with bus tickets to get back and forth to employment. And once they secure employment, I keep in contact with them for a period of 90 days. I monitor retention, and I just request that they provide me with a copy of a pay stub so that we can verify that our program participants are doing what they're supposed to be doing on their end. So that's what I do in a nutshell as an employment specialist.
Okay, and thank you so much, Xavier, for letting us know about the employment specialist. Jada, is there
Yes,
anyone else on your location that has to speak? Because we are at the
surely. We're at the, actually,
yeah.
we don't have our licensed social worker on, but I just want to say we do biopsychosocial assessments with all of the clients. And she is the one that will link our clients directly to all of the social services. And ultimately, that's us in a nutshell. I sent you the flyer. I'm sorry that we couldn't share it, but we did put the additional in contact information in the chat as well. We're just providing a system of support and direction. And
Okay.
thank you for giving us the time to share our services.
Thank you so much, New Jersey Reentry. And I just want to reiterate that they have 9 different sites throughout the state of New Jersey. And they also do virtual and in-person classes as well when it comes to the orientation and services. We have some questions in the chat. One person is saying, can the speakers come online and be able to be facially identified? Some of our speakers are driving and they have chose to not do that. But if you want to see our pictures, you can definitely go to the NASW website and click on presenters. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Jada. And we have another person who has asked not to be identified for various reasons, but you'll be able to hear her voice. Warren Thompson, I see you out there with your questions. His question is there a plan to provide basic needs, shelter, food, clothing, for the massive amount of individuals being released at once? Various organizations, and I can say, are actually going to well, I know that there's one organization, New Jersey Reentry, is going to Edla Mahan on the day that people are being released to actually give them referrals and clothes and things that they need. I don't know how they work that out, but hey, okay. And I also know Women Who Never Give Up are doing that as well. As I stated when we started, there's no way we can fix all the issues, address all the issues, but we just wanted to share and a network and just try to do whatever we can to assist our returning citizens. Jeffrey is on his A game. He has posted a link in the chat where you can go to and get all the information that our panelists are giving out today. Thank you again. In the interest of time, I'm moving on to Miss Kathy Waters. And I just want to say, I have not met her in person. I was literally looking for additional resources for my clients, and it came across this flyer and I was like, let me just call and see. And she was so gracious to adjust her schedule and her time to come on board to tell us about the services that she provides. She has a very impressive long resume. I'm just going to read a couple of lines. Kathy is employed at the Urban League of Union County and serves as the program director of the Reconnection Program, Union County Prisoner Reentry Initiative. In her role, Kathy works closely with leaders and staff of federal, state, local, and community-based organizations, community leaders, and employers to ensure that resources are in place for the returned citizens to truly have a second chance at being self-sufficient. And with that being said and done, Miss Kathy, can you please unmute and go into your presentation? Thank you so much.
Okay, sure. So good morning, everyone. I'm so happy to see this collaboration. I think it's so important with our returning citizens getting out of prison for all of us to be there to support them together. So the Urban League of Union County is located in Elizabeth, New Jersey. We are a national organization. We have 80 different agencies throughout the United States. We have 4 here in New Jersey. The Urban League of Union County has been here for 76 years. So our mission is to empower community and changing lives. So of course, we know with the reentry population, there's certainly a challenge when it comes to social justice. So we do believe in equality. And so we actually guide our clients through a process when they come in here, specifically for the reentry program I'm going to talk about today, even though Urban League does work with many different programs. So with the reentry program, it has been under Urban League's umbrella for 10 years now. We have worked for adolescents actually to prevention program for actually over 30 years. Alternative to incarceration, I mean, for over 30 years here. So with the program, we do only work with Union County residents, the Union County Urban League. We get our referrals from all over, from parole, probation, max outs, you name it. Anyone could just walk in here. We're willing to help them. All they have to be is a Union County resident and 18 and over. Now, when they come into us, we mutually develop a case management plan with them. It's based on what their goals are. And of course, we have recommendations for them as well. So the first thing is, well, do you have a place to live? Do you have food? Do you have health care? So with that, we do refer them to social services if needed. And if the person is working, we do help out sometimes with first month's rent, as well as with referrals for other housing resources as well if needed. Right now, due to the pandemic, some of our clients have been laid off, and we are offering them up to 3 months rent based on the funding that we did receive. Employment is one of our main focuses, of course. Most of our clients, 90%, I want a job, regardless of their education level or the experience they have in employment. So we do help them out with employment. 70% of our clients do get full-time jobs. We are very connected to employers. I have over 15 years of experience in this field and helping out with employment as well. As far as education, it's one of our main goals because we do believe in, again, our clients being self-sufficient. So education is something we definitely drive them to do. Our program is normally co-located in the one-stop centers in Elizabeth and Plainfield. However, due to the pandemic, the centers are closed right now. So we have everything at our corporate office here in Elizabeth. And as of today, we are moving into a new suite because our needs actually have expanded. So we had to have a larger location. And we are serving our clients virtually as well as in person based on their needs. With the education, we do refer them out to the DVR or either the One-Stop American Job Center to get help. There is funding available, and we are closely connected to them, and we do advocate for them to get the funding they need so they can move forward and have actually a career and a job. At least 20% of our clients do go back and expand upon their education. We have clients that are making $80,000 and $90,000 per year because them taking the time to get a vocational trade. In addition to that, we do refer them for legal support. We have a lawyer that comes in. He's a criminal defense attorney that comes in once a month that helps them with record expungement, certificate of good conduct, driver's license restoration, child support issues, if they have outstanding warrants. And even though I said he comes in here once a month, whenever we call him, Attorney Anderson is available to help our clients. And he works with us pro bono. He has an office in New York as well as New Jersey. We also help them with referrals for healthcare, for counseling, mental health, substance abuse. We recently just partnered with Blessed Ministries out of Newark through the Pathway to Recoveries grant. So we are actually expanding our services in that area. Some of them will be able to actually become counselors themselves. In addition to that, we have mentoring and life skills. We're very connected with a faith-based organization. Our mentors come in from the faith-based to help out with our clients with needs they have in that area. They always are available. And we also have a life skills coach who also has his own experience of spending time in prison for many years. And he helps our clients in that area as well with the life skills, which is so needed for returned citizens. We have an alumni association in place that meets once a month in the Plainfield area. However, it's open to all of our Union County residents. And we are also going to be hosting that virtually as well starting November. And we have our alumni that also mentor our who are successful now, that mentor our returned citizens or as they're getting out of prison and jail. And they will be helping the individuals that are referred to us that are getting out now. So we're doing all that we can do to assist our clients. We work with them for a lifetime. It's not just based on them being referred for 90 days and that's it based on our grant. Urban League's doors are always open, whether it's good news or bad news, we're here for them as well as their families. We do believe in family reunification. We help out with anything they need, no matter what it is. We're here, our doors are always open. They want a better job, they're having a problem, with their significant other. I'm using drugs, whatever it is, they just give us a call, they knock on our door and our doors are open. I also chair the Union County Reentry Task Force, whereas federal, the state, local level, our returned citizens, our faith-based community, everyone comes together. Newark, New Jersey Reentry and Union County is part of our task force. We collaborate, we meet. Right now we're meeting virtually as well. And we go into the state building to help actually with the policies that so well need to be changed. And we know housing is certainly a challenge for these returning citizens that are coming out to our New Jersey and to our communities next week. So we just have to continue to work together. I'm so grateful to have been invited to be part of this panel today. And if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call anytime and I will be available for all of you and for the returned citizens as well. Thank you.
Oh, Dr. Lewis, you're muted.
can't keep doing that. Miss Kathy, I'm sorry. I hope that you can stay. I see a question in the chat. Dr. Yolanda Hawkins Rogers, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. She says, is there a connection of Urban League working out of Inglewood, or is anyone centralized with Urban League?
We do have an urban league in Bergen County, and all of our urban leagues do help out with employment. So we can give you that that information. You can give me a call.
Okay, and I just want to underscore the importance of mental health services. For those of you who don't know, for the last 3 years, I just got my doctorate from the DSW program at Rutgers, and I was doing qualitative research on grief and loss in formerly incarcerated women. And mental health symptoms of grief, includes depression, anxiety, anger, suicidal ideation, and post-traumatic stress disorder. We know that without appropriate mental health services, that can impact them in so many different ways and their families. And I, specialize with women, but if there's somebody who knows anything about men, I'm sure that there's some overlap as well. We want to help. We don't want to create a system where we have people coming out and going straight back to prison. So this is why I wanted to get this webinar done. And I'm so thankful that everybody signed on. Everyone is going to need a lot of help. And even before COVID-19, people needed a lot of help. They're going to definitely need even more help when they come out as well. I do know somebody is asking about housing. I just want to put my little 3 cents in subjective information from my years of working with incarcerated populations, is that a lot of times people put an address, a parole address, just to say they have a place to go to, or they're going back to a home where they haven't been at in a long time, and things are different. Maybe somebody is using, maybe it's a domestic violence situation. Maybe they thought they'll be able to stay there, but now they can't. So we probably are going to have a lot of people who initially had some form of stable housing, and it might deteriorate. So I just want us to be prepared and not to be upset with them if they are presenting with signs of being angry. That is also a sign of depression as well. All right, thank you. I didn't mean to go. Okay.
Dr. Lewis, excuse me. Sorry,
yes.
I don't want to throw off your timing. I know you've got a whole schedule,
yeah,
but there are a couple of other
questions.
Chat I was hoping we could address.
Okay, we'll go for it.
Erin asks, can one of the speakers talk about the certificate of good conduct and how to help clients obtain the certificate?
Well, that is beyond my scope of practice. Does anybody that's on the panel know exactly what this person is talking about? We want to make sure we answer all questions. And if we can't, we want to be able to point them in the right direction. Going once? Yes.
I can answer it somewhat. So our lawyer does work with, the returned citizens. And just so you know, if you Google that, the form is actually online, and the certificate has to be approved by the New Jersey State Parole Board. In order to actually be awarded that certificate, they have to be pretty much in really good standing to prove that they had a job, move forward with their education, involved in the community. It's a whole application process that they have to complete. They need letters of recommendations, and it has to be approved by the New Jersey State Parole Board. And that's why it's so important for the returned citizens to really move forward in a positive way, because some of our individuals could never get their record expunged, but they can get the certificate of good conduct. But the application, again, if you Google it, it's right online.
And I want to also just add real quick, there's a lot of virtual stuff online. Some of the people that we're going to be working with are going to be coming out technologically at a disadvantage. Depending on how long they've been away, a cell phone might be a new thing to them. My cell phone is a new thing to me every time I pick it up, so we're probably going to have to do a little extra time and care and working with them to assist them with some technology issues as well. I see another question, Jeffrey, you want to hit that before we move on to women who never give up, and then we're going to go with Helena Tomei, and then we're going to end with Miss Justice and Miss Lydia.
Absolutely. Carol is asking, if returning citizens are in federal program, can they participate in employment referral programs?
Okay, I do not work with anyone who is in federal programs. Is anybody on the panel familiar with this? We want to give out good information. We want to give out misinformation. If no one knows, I can do the research and make some calls to my contact and get that to you. Okay, we got a Brian Peters is saying to everyone, yes. Okay.
And then I also have a comment from somebody on Facebook, if she's still watching. Gina is saying she's a student now at Rutgers, and this is her major, and she was also incarcerated and wanted to be a part of a program like this. Gina, the webinar is underway, and I can send you a message if you want to try and join into the program now, or you can continue just watching on the Facebook simulcast. Just send us a direct message if you have any questions.
And shameless plug here, you know, I'm glad that we had a student ask about being a part of this. I know that I have been getting a lot of calls from students and individuals who are seeking internship site placements. I am also the internship coordinator at William Patterson University. I'll put that information down there. We're looking to network with anybody who wants to provide virtual, in-person, or personal virtual / in-person, and I will work with you to develop meaningful work tasks for your student interns. I know this is yet another extra stuff, but if we can mold and assist in the development of our young people who are going to be our next leaders in prison reform or correctional officers are doing the work that we do, I think that we owe it to try to reach and pull them in to the best way possible. Okay. Miss, oh goodness, Women Who Never Give Up. Can you, Miss Tish, this Miss Gail Muhammad, I have to say hello to her. So basically, I am really just trying to push through. I was supposed to speak a little bit about clinical implications, but I gave up my time to Women Who Never Gives Up because I believe in what they're doing, and I wanted them to have a voice today. So please, Miss Barnes, if you would be so kind as to talk briefly about your organization, we're waiting to hear what you have to say.
Thank you, Dr. Lewis, for even giving up your spot to allow us this opportunity to speak. I'm Tisha Barnes. I'm the Executive Director of Women Who Never Give Up. Women Who Never Give Up has been a longstanding agency, an advocacy agency founded by Gail Muhammad, who is our current president. Who is the founder and current president of Women Who Never Give Up. We have been at advocacy, we've been advocating for the rights of individuals who are incarcerated, to have them moved, to have medical assistance, to have proper equipment that they may need while they are incarcerated. We also have worked with their families in participatory defense and with their families just who reach out to us who can't help their loved one that is currently incarcerated, and we provide services to them to help them, whether it's counseling, whether it's legal, whether it's ton of phone calls, letter writing campaigns, things of that nature in order to help them. I've now been the executive director for a year and 2 months, and we are going to be moving into services as of next year. We're going to be having our own services, employment services, housing, mental health counseling groups, and things of that nature. Pretty much what everyone else is doing here, but we're going to be doing it in South Jersey. So right now, when we have people come home, we have an intake form that we use, and we have partnered with the New Jersey Reentry Corporation under Governor McGreevey, former Governor McGreevey, and we refer our clients to them up north. And in Central Jersey, and then in South Jersey, we refer out to BOA to provide all those wraparound services right now that we are not in the position to perform at this time. So we have created great partnerships with them, and we send all of our clients over to them. So they do the form with us, we'll assess their needs, and then we refer them out to all of the other organizations that we partnered with for those wraparound services. That being said, we all know that housing definitely is going to be a big part of this. As Dr. Lewis said, it's going to play a major role. So we have to really combine our resources to make sure that their living arrangement is going to is key, because that's going to be the thing that decides whether or not they're going to repeat or stay home. And our goal is for them to stay home. So we don't call it reentry at Women Who Never Give Up. We call it new entry, because we are giving them new ways to do maybe the old things, same things, different things, but we're going to give them new ways to do this so we can change the status quo. So that is our goal. Thank you.
Ms. Barnes, thank you so much. Can you please make sure you put your website in the chat so we can have that? We want to disseminate this information. And like I said, everyone that's out there in the Zoom universe, we knew that we couldn't address all the issues, talk about all the resources, but we just wanted to put something together because we have a lot of people coming home and they are going to need our help. And if we all network and work together, we can do something to successfully reduce recidivism and to keep these individuals out of the prison system. We want to address mental health. We want to address housing. For those of you who don't know, also, we keep talking about adults. The Senate Bill 2519, which was signed by our governor, is also going to be releasing juveniles as well. Okay. All right. Hello. Okay, all right. I'm going to move forward in the interest of time to talk to Miss Helena Tomei. We actually have the same name, Helena to Helena. Okay, I've known her for quite some time. She is currently serves as the director of the Reentry and Accreditation Services for the New Jersey Association of Corrections, also known as NJAC. Ms. Tomei has several years of experiences writing, planning, and recommending policies, procedures, and training which further the objectives of the agency and mission of helping people build a future. I know that when I'm working on something and trying to word a policy, she's my go-to person, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce her to talk about her organization. Thank you, Helena Tomei.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lewis. Good afternoon. And thank you so much for inviting me and for the fantastic collaboration, sharing resources. Some are new to me and others we've been using to support our clients. To begin, I just wanted to talk a little bit about who we are. We've been around since 1961, so we've been around a little while. And we provide services in various counties. Now, not every county that we are in provides reentry specific services. So our clients are survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, women in recovery, people living with HIV, and adult offenders. If you would like any information about any of the other programs, please feel free to visit our website. Now, in terms of today, I'm going to focus on our reentry division and what we do to help those reentering society. So I broke it up into 3 sections: post-release, community supervision, and pre-release programs that we operate. In the interest of time, if I speak too fast, just raise your hand. I have a tendency to go a little fast. I'll start with post-release, and we have 2 resource centers. One is in Middlesex County. We've operated it since 1977. One in Mercer, which is relatively new since 2018. These are drop-in centers. It is lifetime services. We offer a mailing address, entitlement assistance, healthcare enrollment, employee preparation, identification. We network with different community providers, and we have a housing advocate who works on identifying long-term stable housing with some limited financial assistance for housing placement. In Middlesex, when we're not in the middle of a pandemic, we also offer discharge planning from the county jail, and we coordinate navigation services. We pick people up at the jail, we take them home, and then we take them to various appointments, substance use, mental health, medical, for 3 months post-release. Jenny's Place is another post-release program that we have. There are 8 single room occupancy units. We currently do have 1 vacancy at this program. It is for women who have been incarcerated and have a disability. It's permanent independent housing. Women do need to have a certification from the city of Newark, and our case manager would assist in obtaining that, as well as submitting it to the city of Newark and Essex County, who will then issue a voucher. Another residential post-release service that we offer is Winifred Canwright House. We have been operating that since 2000. It is long-term transitional housing, and it's for individuals identifying as males. We provide transportation, meals, medication assistance, nursing, support groups. So you don't need to have an incarceration history to be eligible to come to this program, and you can self-refer. Most do have a history. The only eligibility criteria is that you have to meet a medical criteria. And if you are interested, we will share contact information. We currently do have vacancies there as well. We've been taking in several people who are expected to arrive on November 4. Now I move into the services that we offer that are in collaboration with parole and community supervision. So in Mercer County, we have the Gallaudet Community Resource Center. It is for both male and female parolees. It's a day reporting service for individuals referred by parole. So it's assessment driven, it's employment centered. We provide services in groups, healthy relationships, adult basic education, career profiling, budgeting, financial management, domestic violence, fatherhood, sex offender assessments, and sex offender groups. We do transportation, and we provide 2 meals a day based on the time. So we're open until 7 o'clock, 6 days a week. They are discharged when they have stable employment. The other community supervision residential program that we have is PATH. It's also to us, to me, it's known as Bates House. We've been operating it since '72. It's in Middlesex County, and it's residential transitional housing services for homeless male parolees. Again, they are referred by parole. They're provided behavioral health referrals, employment assistance, fatherhood groups, and meals. And they're discharged once they have accumulated enough savings and have located safe and approved housing, which we assist with. My last services that I wanted to talk about is our pre-release services. So these are the halfway houses, and they are offered to eligible incarcerated individuals. They are referred by the Department of Corrections, and this is their opportunity to serve in their final months prior to their release from state prison in a structured community setting, and it permits them to readjust to community norms. So the first 2 programs are for males. Clinton House is the first halfway house, contracted halfway house in the state of New Jersey, in Mercer County, and Hem House is our newest program in Essex County. They are both work release programs. So employment is the cornerstone of these programs, and services are evidence-based, assessment-driven. Each resident is required to be gainfully employed, which we assist with, in school or in an approved training program. And we offer structured, progressive community interaction. Our last program is Millicent Fenwick House. It is in Passaic County, and we've been operating that since '98. Fenwick House is for women. It's a treatment program for women, and it has a work release component. We are gender responsive, trauma informed, and healing centered. Trauma impacts women in so many different areas, especially those related to reentry, family relationships, sobriety, parenting, employment, abuse, it goes on. Trained professionals use a strength-based approach to cognitive and behavioral modification. And once they move into the work release component of the program, the requirements that I mentioned for the male programs are the same. So just in closing, we commend That looks bad. We commend state government and legislators for wanting to protect all the citizens and keep them safe during this health crisis. Parole, Department of Corrections, providers, we've been working around the clock preparing for these releases. Reentry is our business, and we're happy that there's going to be all of these returning citizens who are going to be able to rejoin their family and their loved ones. Our concern is for the, like we're discussing today, the large number of inmates who may not have that. I just want to take a short time to discuss planning for the future. About 1,000 of the individuals released next week were not eligible to receive, participate in pre-release programs. So they could have been introduced and exposed to the communities. And these communities have changed so much in the last 6 months, let alone during their length of incarceration. So the method of routine communication and meeting it's just changed drastically, as we all know, and it's a struggle for lots of us to keep up with. But now we're asking many of these folks to, one, have access, and thanks to so much of the information and the provider services that we've heard about who can help, but have access and have the ability to come into the world as we know it. That's frightening, it's confusing. The Department of Corrections has done a great job at providing evidence-based groups and programming while they're still inside the prison. But it's all about training and experience. Training and experience is vital. Would you want a person who just graduated from medical school but didn't have any on-the-job training schedule you for heart surgery? I know my answer would be absolutely not, but this is what we're doing to the vulnerable population. We're releasing them without the benefit of proper community integration. And not only can these individuals access every single one of these services that have been discussed today and others, if they went to pre-release programs, they can feel comfortable and confident when they're returning home with a proper plan and proper supports. If this is my contact information, I'll be glad to share it. Thank you.
I put a link to the organization in the chat box, Helena Tomei. And if you want to send your slides to me, I can email them out to folks after the webinar, or if we're still on, by the time I get them uploaded, I can put them in the chat as well.
Thank you.
Dr. Lewis, are you there?
I can't believe I can't remember to unmute this mic. Okay, I should be an expert by now. But I wanted to thank Jeffrey for giving me the okay for us to go a little bit over time, because everybody has such valuable information. Like I said, we couldn't do it all in 1 hour. Shameless plug, maybe the NASW will let me come back, every couple of months to highlight 2 or 3 organizations instead of 18 at a time. But I have the pleasure of introducing 2 people. I didn't see it as Justice Marshall was on, but I did see Lydia Torton. I reached out to a person that I knew who was advocating for the Senate bill that was signed by Governor Murphy, and he suggested that I get in contact with Miss Lydia because she is working on the front lines. And I talked to her. I was so enamored by what she was doing and also by the services that her organization is offering. So I'm going to read her brief bio. I'm only doing 2 lines, and then we're going to let her go ahead and close out the webinar, and then I'm going to come back and say goodbye to everybody and thank you. Okay, Miss Lydia Torton is a previously incarcerated person. Lydia Torton knows firsthand the pains of incarceration and the challenges faced by individuals once they are released from prison. Ms. Torton currently works for New Jersey Prison Justice Watch, the Latino Action Network, and multiple agencies throughout the state of New Jersey. Please, without further ado, Ms. Lydia, it's all about you right now. We're looking forward for your presentation.
Thank you, Miss Helena, and you are just a bundle of energy. It wasn't really supposed to be just me. I was going to share this time with Justice, which is what I expected to do, Mr. Roundtree, who has, equally deep experience as I. And I really don't work, quote unquote, for anyone, just to clarify. I work with a variety of groups. Prison Watch, New Jersey Prison Justice Watch, that Brienne just put in the chat, and American Reentry Initiative, which is really what I wanted to talk about today, because we've been on the ground floor of the Senate bill that you've been talking about, that's letting all these people out, with New Jersey Prison Justice Watch, from the door. Working with Senator Poe, working with, the various Assembly and Senate people who got this thing pushed through. And Brienne's organization, American Reentry Initiative, I'm very impressed with for a variety of reasons. One is that she has a statewide network built at this point, and that's challenging to do in this state. It truly is. And while direct services are hard to do end to end, if you work in collaboration with folks, we can get their academy down in Camden to, supply somebody with a cell phone or the clothes or whatever. They're doing their Meet 'em at the Gate program. We're all together, next Wednesday to do Meet 'em at the Gate at every facility. There's going to be some people. We're also going to expand that a little further for those who get all the way to a transit center and maybe a little overwhelmed or lost, and do a Meet 'em at the transit center and get folks information. There's a hotline that I believe Brienne put in the chat, but I'll restate it now for everybody. It's 888-301-0524 that is being staffed right now from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily for folks who need information, whether it's an actual person coming home or a family member who's confused about what to expect, because that's the other piece that, Prison Justice, New Jersey Prison Justice Watch particularly has focused deeply on the families that our brothers and sisters are coming home to. We have a weekly call on Mondays that Justice is in charge of, that is directly for the families of those impacted, because it's not always easy to come home to people who don't know you anymore. And prison, as I'm sure most on this call know, changes you. It changes you permanently. Now, a lot of people come out with good education and knowledge. Some come out really struggling. And the language we use, to me, and I'll close with this, is really important. These are brothers, sisters, wives, husbands, mothers, fathers, uncles, aunts, sons, and daughters. They are not the worst thing they ever did. My personal organization is called the Scarlet F. And if anybody's aware of the book, The Scarlet A, where you had to write, wear a badge on your shirt because you committed adultery, that's pretty much the invisible badge that we wear as ex-offenders, ex-felons, whatever you want to call us. I prefer humans. And that's the approach that our entire coalition takes. I'll be happy to supply the information for our weekly calls, both for family, for reentry, for monitoring, and just to basically get involved on whatever ground floor you feel comfortable with. Thank you so much for inviting me, Justice. Thank you for hooking me up. I appreciate you. And let's welcome our friends home.
Okay. Lydia Thornton, thank you so much. Justice, I didn't see you. Are you on? Do you want to say anything, Justice? Justice Roundtree, are you on this call?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, Mr. Justice, you look.
I've been here the whole time. You haven't seen me. I've been.
No.
I've been invisible to the world. I don't know. All right. Well, I won't take up too much time. This has been I just want to say a few things. Thank you. I wanted to thank you formally for you just having the bright idea, seeing, being in the time, understanding the necessity to bring all these service providers together. So I thank you. I thank the Association of Social Workers as well for your support, Jeffrey, as well. Thank you. We haven't met, but I'm familiar with the org. So me, I will only just maybe share a couple of my roles. So that's maybe some people online may think that'd be maybe useful, we could work. Currently, I sit on the civilian task force, a review task force for the Essex County Jail. I'm a regional coordinator for a behavioral health organization. We provide services for people in recovery, whether that's mental health challenges that they face with substance abuse. We have wellness centers. We have resource specialists to help people with IDs. They can use our centers for addresses as well. So you can contact me for that. I'm also a state organizer with New Jersey Prison Justice Watch. Lydia was very humble. It's you can imagine the experience of us not only supporting the bill, but writing, some of us writing this bill and pushing it. So seeing all these services together is an amazing view that I'm looking at it from. So I don't want to understate that. That's really just about it. And if there's any more time, I think Brienne, I know that the organization is doing some very concrete things. I'll be personally at Penn Station from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on the 4th. The organization, if we have time, could just talk about the moves that we have, because maybe people may want to join that. We're just giving them literally, what is your need? We're having masks, we have proper, PPE and everything. But if we have anything on spot, I have a trunk full of clothes I can't fit anymore. Take these. Anything that we could do. And finally, I'm working with the city of Newark. This is a work in progress. So I'm working with the city of Newark. The conversations are going to see where we could get some funds and who we could speak to about providing some housing. So active conversation I'm having, and if any of those things interest you, you can contact me through Dr. Lewis.
All right. Justice Roundtree, thank you so much for signing on. And I didn't see you. I'm so sorry. I apologize. But and Lydia, thank you. And Priscilla Kimona, thank you. Jada, everyone, Helena Tomei, Women Who Never Give Up. This was literally something that just popped into my mind at work. And I was like, I wondered if we could, and we did. And if we were able to pull this together in a week, in such little time, I just want to make sure that I share this message with you all. We have to continue to work together. We have to continue to network together. We have to do whatever we can to extend a hand, to pull people in, to work collaboratively, because what I don't know, maybe you know, what you know, maybe I don't know. And the name of this game right here is let's do whatever we can to assist our returning citizens so that we can impact not only them, but their families, their children, and future generations. And if you have not included a grief and loss group into your daily program services, I've shamelessly put down the links for my multimedia project that I did for Rutgers University for the doctoral program. Reach out to me. I'll talk to you about it. There's a lot of information on there and suggestions for groups and all that jazz. We are over time, and I want to thank everyone for joining who took the time. Jeffrey, I'm turning it over to you so you can let us know how we can get all this information that
Thank you so much.
might have wrote down.
Dr. Lewis, thank you so much for doing this. This was fantastic. I'm going to be really quick because I know we are over time. If you pre-registered for this webinar, we have your email address, and in about 24 hours, I will send out an email to you all that has a link to the recorded version of this webinar so you can watch it again and share it. And also I will send out links to any of the materials that were shown today that are sent to me. Other than that, thank you all again so much. And it sounds like there's some interest in doing this again, so stay tuned.
All right, y'all be safe. And until we meet again in the Zoom, yes, vote. Until we meet again, people, until we meet again.
Great work, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Great work.
Thank you
Great
all.
work.